It's Sunday, October 19th. It is. It's hard to, it's kind of hard to squeeze that one out because I swear the time is just zipping by. I mean, most things season and cycle, no matter what you do, whether it's your, I hope you guys are doing well out there. So I'm just kind of just dropping in just for a second, just kind of like with just, I don't know, just with all the things, but even with all the things going on, none of it is brand new. And that's the thing that I don't know if people are if the masses, I'm going to say that if the masses of people are in denial about whether their beloved government is holding some benefit of theirs hostage, or uh, yeah, or holding their jobs hostage, or playing games. Meanwhile, I mean, it's honestly, there's just so many things going on right now that I think we have a lot of small things, a lot of landmines, but there's a lot of it's to me as a distraction, I think, to what's happening on a global scale. Of course, what was it that they released it on Friday? I think it was at least Friday, about the SNAP benefits being delayed or insufficient. USA Today cites SNAP benefits uh, face insufficient funds in November if the shutdown continues. That's the USDA. Now that's with a November 1. And it's funny that the same article actually cites that the longest shutdown was 35 days, apparently, between lasted 35 days between December 2018 and January of 2019. So here again, it's just another emotional arc that they have us on. And you know I mean, even just, I'm just thinking, just even if you go someplace, I mean, even maybe 2 weeks ago, I just went to an office, and we were standing outside. Morning, Derek C. Williams. Thank you so much for coming in. I was just standing outside of an office, and then I heard some people talking. Those people happened to be black. And they were like, well, I just walk around, I just look at these white people. Yeah, it's like, yeah, well, they didn't want Kamala Harris to have a black woman. Yeah, and this is my thing. I get so, I mean, why in the world do you actually think what's going on in this country is sticking it to white people? I mean, I don't typically, I just, the reasoning and the logic. I don't know if it's paranoia. I don't know if it's indoctrination. I don't know if it's psychosis. I don't know. They were talking about Kamala Harris. Shout out to Derek C. Williams. Yeah, what they didn't want Kamala Harris to have it. Yeah, they didn't want the black woman to have it. And they were like, well, at least the government was open. And I'm just thinking, yeah, your big daddy government has done it again. And I know you're sad and you're all torn up about it, but your government doesn't love anybody. Why can't you accept that? Your government doesn't have a color. Your government doesn't have a heart. Your government doesn't have emotions. Your government doesn't have a human element. Oh no, of course not. She's very much a high-ranking, what is it, the Brahmin of the Indian culture. No, she's not black. Here again, people that are caught up in symbolism and pagan kind of associations, they just can't quite they just can't quite hack it. They just can't quite understand where anything ranks in the big scheme of things. They're always on some surface whatever, or some mythological BS, which keeps them where they are. I mean, but my bottom line here is, and I've gotten on this, do you really think you're sticking it to white people because Donald Trump? Do you think Donald Trump being in office is sticking it to white people. I think this guy, he truly believes his own, I think he's convinced himself for that. You know, I mean, you have all kinds of narratives and all kinds of loops, but the ones that we kind of create in a smaller, if we're going to create community mythology, it's not even a positive feedback loop. You're not sticking anything to white people because Donald Trump's in office. Looks like it's getting stuck to you too. Derek C. Williams says, I wonder why black people protest so hard for other issues and neglect their own. Well, it's just, honestly, I wasn't going to engage this guy. He was talking to someone else, but I was a little bit irritated because I'm standing outside of this place. I mean, I'm not some person that can't wait on anything, but we're standing outside, and, I'm like, oh my gosh, you think you got one in today? You think you got to dig in? Because give me a break. I would never. I'm just thinking, like, these people are so far above us, whether it's a Donald Trump or whether it's a Kamala Harris. These people don't live the life that you live. You somehow think you're relating to somebody so close. Oh, you know somebody because of based on your flesh, which the flesh means nothing. It's nothing. It means nothing. But in certain constructs, it means everything. And to me, that's the illusion. People are stuck in so many illusions. And I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying not all, but most. Most people are stuck in some kind of illusion. Good morning, oh my gosh. Rachel Van Ziel, it's been a lifetime, my sister. How are you? Good to see you this morning. Hope you're doing well. And Derek C. Williams says, I was downtown yesterday laughing at white people coming the no kings thing as if that affects Trump or his. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's. I appreciate you so much for coming in. I'm going to come in later at some point later. I just didn't. I was just too lazy to, I didn't want to do everything right now. I'm just. It's not early or anything, but the time is going by so fast, and it's spinning. The time is just literally spinning. But what I'm saying is, it's just, to me, it's literal in many ways. As much things that are repeating, it's like some things never happened. It's like some of these people didn't learn anything from 2019. They're just as stuck and stubborn and obstinate as they were in 2019. Now, I'm telling you about this USA Today article. It's citing that the longest government shutdown lasted 35 days between December 2018 and January of 2019. So I think they're always giving you a clue. And I don't think this one's going to be a short one, but I really think a lot. Oh my gosh, it's also Mindy Stone. Oh my gosh, it's been a lifetime. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And I hate but please hit the like button. If any of this is, just here again, stick it to YouTube right now, because as many people say, I'm still not convinced that they're not playing games. I'm still not convinced that there's not a level of censorship. Derek C. Williams, he says, have you run in Black Spring exercise mode? Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm all things plank. I mean, isometric exercise. I'd love to do some extra things, but I'm actually waiting on some tools and some gadgets to come in. But what I'm just saying, it's just like I don't want to say if it's the stupidity or the brain dead skags come out every time something goes wrong with the government. It usually brings the most. It brings out the most. I don't want to say the most empty vessels, and they stay on their same loop. They stay on their same loop. I mean, some people believe, some economists believe that Trump is is in the lowest part of the rung when it comes to the economy overall. Globally, they believe he is. I'm just saying, it's dismal, the things that people are still saying the same kind of crap. And some people might want to, oh, it's Trump derangement syndrome. No, it's not. It's not. It's not that. It's you gotta give a new name, because that, to me, that one doesn't even fit anymore. Because I don't know if it's just stupidity. And I say this without any kind of braggadocio. I do. I don't even know whether should you feel sorry for these people, or if something really goes down, do you really want to be around these people? Do you really want to be around them? Are they going to go in the wrong direction? What direction are they going to go in? Rachel Van Zyl says, ignorance, the veil is still over eyes and hearts. Yes, it is, Rachel Van Zyl. It is, it's, and I'm not surprised. I guess more of just disappointed, I guess. Good morning, realize. So, it's like, okay, so, I mean, and of course you've got other YouTubers that have made exclusive videos on SNAP program and SNAP benefits being, potentially stifled if the shutdown continues. But, we've been here before. So here, let me give you guys just this headline. I'm kind of circling around this. I'm pivoting around this. I'm pivoting around the USA Today's, they released it on Friday or Thursday or Friday, that the SNAP benefits face insufficient funds in November if shutdown continues. USDA warns, which it's rough for, because I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of grandparents out here that are actually raising a lot of kids. That's the sad, to me, that's the gut wrench. It's not even at this point. At this point, I'm beginning to wonder if the grandparents aren't the ones that are suffering because of something like this, because the kids' parents are actually not raising these kids. And I've heard of many situations like that in which the grandparents actually are using these benefits because they're raising, said 1, 2, 3, however many kids, or doing whatever they can to help out. Let me just read some comments here. Rachel Van Zyl says Trump is a rump jack. He is taking everyone down. Well, there's also an opinion piece in the TNA about, the enemy is, that it's, it's more against the people at this point. And I think that's an interesting point of view. Rachel Van Zyl says a fear campaign. Mindy a Stone. I hope I'm saying that right, Mindy a Stone. I swear that there's something in the air and in the water. It has to be. It has to be. It's like we're dealing with an alternate reality. And I have said this is somewhere between a time warp, or I don't know. I mean, you can barely catch your breath on the weekends. Realize. Thank you so much for coming in. She says Black Spring salute. Snoop Doggy Dogg got a show coming out for the Alphabet Gang LGBTQ Plus called Doggy Land. You know what? When it comes to that particular personality, to me, he'll do just about anything. He's the all occasion vessel for the whole agenda. He'll usher in anything. He will. And I'm going to say this, is a lot of people might not like it, but I think a lot of people are going to be they're being used to usher in this whole system. We have all this international stuff that's going on, and they all have something in common right now. But meanwhile, they had us focused for weeks on the whole late Charlie Kirk situation and the some of this. I thought my screen wasn't going to explode. If I hear one more person refer to that man as Jesus, or if I hear one more idolatry style putting him next to Jesus, I swear, I don't know. Maybe I'll take a hammer to my own device. I don't know. It's just too much. It's too much. It's like before you can catch your breath, you're already hit with something else. But there's just certain things that are just on a cycle. Just everything is just, it's on a narrative, it's on a narrative loop, it's on an emotional arc. I mean, by now everybody should know there's a script, and there's and everybody's has a part. It's just more and more illusions, more and more illusions. Rachel Van Zyl says psyop. Right on. I'm so glad you came in, Rachel Van Zyl. It's been a long time. Freedom's March is here. Good morning. How are you? So yeah, I'm just coming in. I'm just kind of on an all the things right now. All the things that are kind of, borderline annoying. When you hear people talking, it's just, some of us are just so, yeah, I guess some of us are still on some you already know crap. I mean, it's just, and they didn't learn a thing. They didn't learn a thing from 2018. They didn't learn a thing from 2019, and they're not going to learn a thing right now. They're not. I mean, I'm just getting, some people have just got the spirit of deaf and dumb. Deaf and dumb. Some people say it's something in the water. Some people say it's something in the chicken nuggets. Watch out for that, folks. Watch it. Watch your kids. Watch everything. Watch what they consume, because it doesn't take that long. It's like, to me, the whole world has got this whole dopamine urgent. It's demand. The high is the demand is just out of this world. Out of this world. But like I said, I'm just kind of coming in and just saying, they just have to, they appeal to, they start, when they start appealing to the common man, it seems like in the past, that's like, I'm running it right now. I don't mean to run it through Echo and Insight right now, but my little rhetorical X-ray machine says, maybe we're on the other side of this arc, because when they get to the common man that's relying on some of these government benefits, it's like it's almost over. It's almost over. We're almost ready for the next thing. We're almost ready for that next thing. Rachel Van Zyl says raise cortisol and destroying the body and mind. And she says, hey. Like, honestly, this has been like, it's been every now and then, it's like a reunion. I mean, I've seen some people from 2018, 19, from the, shout out to the class of CV19. Shout out to the class of COVID-19. I'm sick of the self-censoring. It's so tiresome. It really is. And shout out to Derek C. Williams for calling me out. Well, he wasn't calling me out. He was just saying, he was like, just speak freely or don't speak at all. So, yeah, I guess until the digital IDs come in, I'll be safe, right? Realize says, yes, it's ironically so how they all were so gangsta back in the day. Now they all so-called businessmen for the so-called powers that be agenda and push the narratives to continue to usher in this system. Yes. I'm just thinking, I don't know, what is it? Is the American memory really this fickle? I mean, I don't know. But, they've done a great job with the media, with the scripts, with the narratives, with the fear. It usually starts out with fear. But like I said, when they bring in that element, good morning at Kimon 88. If you're new to the channel, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in. So I'm just saying, when they start, because, I mean, honestly, we're the common man, common core, common man, it's just, they have no respect. They don't. And they don't mind using you as a pawn. But some people still think that there's somehow Donald Trump being in the office is sticking it to the white man. I'm just, as my cousin would say, I'm gonna hang the phone up on you on that one. I mean, I didn't even want to look at the guy after he said, he's like, yeah, I just look at him. It's like, at least the government was open. And then he went back. So this whole little rant piece right here, guys, came from a guy that I was standing near waiting for some place to open, and he was complaining about government not being open, and he was saying, well, they didn't want Kamala Harris to, they don't want the black woman to have it. Rah, 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 rah. And I was just thinking, please open this building. Please open this building. I'm wearing the wrong shoes, and I don't know how much more of this I can listen to. You know, he wasn't talking to me, no. But when you get what the consensus is, when you get what the, you know, I don't even know if is it a literacy issue with, you know, it's just that people just refuse. I think people have been refusing to make themselves more literate since 2018, 29. It started before then. But you know, it's just we have enough events that amplifies that you need to be literate, or you at least need to figure out what's going on. You need to at least try to look for some type of guidance, or you need to try to, if you don't have it, maybe you need to, you know, you need to try to learn it, or you need to pray for it. You need to do something else, because you're not sticking anything to anyone. I don't know why I always come back to sometimes where I remember lines from these Hollywood movies. Like, what was it on Titanic? What is it? It's like angels above that fly above to get to the likes, to the next to the likes of these people. So if you actually think that you're somehow, that somehow this system is sticking it to the person that's in office, I don't know. You're in worse shape. It's so much worse than I thought. So Rachel Van Zyl says, character counts more than color. Yeah, well, it does. It does. But, you know, like I said, I was just dropping in just for a second because, you know, this whole, like I said, there's a ton of content out there on the SNAP benefits. There's people have been talking about SNAP benefits all year, okay? They've been talking about SNAP benefits. You can find a lot out there on SNAP benefits. You can find a lot out there on Section 8. You name it. You can, it's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. So I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, this whole body of Congress, it's completely impotent. It does nothing. Most of the decisions that are being made, which to me, the Congress doesn't give two a nickel's worth of, you know what? Because, you know, you can go back to the 90s. The World Trade Organization, you know, they traded off everything. But allegedly they have the power, or it's enshrined in the document that they have the power to regulate multilateral agreements and foreign, you know, and commerce with foreign nations. And then even the diplomacy, it's just all a nightmare. It's all like we're definitely in a different, I'm not going to say realm. We're in a different era right now. We're not, like I've said this before, the former world has passed away. And now this is what you have. But you still have people thinking like the former world, and they think somehow they're going to be, they're not going to keep up. They're not going to keep up if they're still using the same school of thought, or the lack of school of thought that they were using in 2019 or 2018 in 2025. Because honestly, we're getting so close to 2026 right now. I'm just saying, you know, some people are just, I hate to say it, they're just that, here it is, the spirit of deaf and dumb. It's real. Some people attribute it to vaccines. Some people attribute to the crap in the food. Some people attribute it to, you know, too much stimulation on technology. There's something going on. Something going on. But it's going to go on. So just make sure you guys, I know you guys are already tuned up high. You're already tuned up high. I'm going to be on, you're right, Rachel Van Zyl, it's spiritual. But yeah, but just I'm saying I'm beginning to get, here I am. I feel like I'm going back to class of COVID-19. If something kicks off, you might need to make sure you might need to be around some like-minded individuals. Because these people that are stuck, that's got that spirit of deaf and dumb, please. They will hold you down, and they will waste your time. They will hold you down. And they will waste your time. because really not that much has changed. I keep talking about it. You know, it's not a positive feedback loop. It's kept us in the same place. We're on the same trajectory. We're on the same trajectory. The only thing different now, right now, is what I'm going to say is that we have something. The thing, what's going on globally, is that we have international. We have a lot of these nations that are leaning, that are moving towards AI governance, and dare I say cryptocurrencies. They're building an entire new. They're setting up our new world, whether it's the Genius Act. What I mean, it's all being set up. It's all being set up, and all these other things. These things that are going on now with the shutdown and all that stuff. To me, that's just a distraction. That's just a distraction. Rachel Van Ziel says, "Got to fine tune everything." Yeah, you have to. You have to. And then she says more have awakened to truth. Now we do have people that are more awakened, but we do have some. I'm going to be honest, right? I'm going to call these baby doomers. The baby doomers. I'm just sorry. I'm just thinking there's not a whole lot of hope for them. I'm just, I don't know. You know. Hey, they were the first class of that operation. So I can't, but I'm just saying those are the people that you don't want to be around when something kicks off. When something kicks off, to me, I'm on at this point, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Mindy Stone says it's totally spiritual. The demons are running rampant. The time is getting shorter every day. Yes, it is. It is. Because I'm going to be honest, 6 weeks. I mean, there's some things that I do for every 6 weeks, okay? And it seems like the 6 weeks is like we're off by like 2 weeks or something. I just had to check the calendar. I had to check the calendar because I'm just thinking, gosh, is it really time for me to do this, and this again? Everything seasons and cycles, without a doubt. Realize, it says, Black Spring, I truly think that a spirit of reprobate mind, as you pointed out, deaf and dumb, is out there lurking among the masses. Whoever is open up to receive it, and people lack spiritual discernment. Yeah, they do. They do. And, you can show it to them. You can have discernment. You can, in many ways. There's many modes of discernment, but some of them just don't. If I'm gonna just be nasty, because some people are just incompetent. Okay, if I'm not gonna say they have the spirit of deaf and dumb, then they're just incompetent. It doesn't matter. You can put their nose in it, and they're still. I think it's fear. I also think it's fear. Rachel Van Ziel says, unless they have me around, I pound away at the lie. Hey, I appreciate you for sure, Rachel Van Ziel. Every single one of you guys who've come in here and listened to me rant and pivot around. Like this started somewhere between the USA Today SNAP benefits face insufficient funds in November if the shutdown continues, and me just kind of hearing what the consensus, or what the masses, or what the common man is saying about, say, okay, you're still talking about Trump, and you're still talking about Kamala Harris, and you're still talking about, oh, they didn't want the black woman to have. Well, she's not black. Let's just go and pull the Band-Aid off. She's not black. She's not. And that's what I'm saying. The word black and the whole concept of it has been diluted so much. It makes you, what is that? What is it? Because you just keep, I'm telling you, it's just bizarre. But I'm just thinking, you guys hang in there, and I may come back later today. There's just so much going on right now. That I just wanted to just drop in and just say, hey, this was one of the last things that I picked up, and I just said I haven't said anything about it, but like I said, back to the SNAP benefits program, not program, but the SNAP benefits piece. I'm saying for those grandparents out there that are actually raising their children's children, it's probably most impactful to them. Uh, and I'm just not even sure, and I don't know with the cost of things. And I'll be honest, a lot of kids that I'm exposed to, that I'm around, they eat a lot of junk. I mean, those talkie things, those little nasty looking talkies. I mean, I'm just thinking, you guys are gonna be walking around with the lining of your belly, holding the lining of your belly pretty soon, because those talkie things, I've never tried them. Are you guys familiar with those talkies? I think they're everything from hot. They have them everything from hot to blue. I mean, just all kinds of dye and junk and just junk. The most junky, empty calorie diet is what I see a lot of kids consuming these days. I mean, and they just can't get enough of it. Shout out to Marcy T. When Marcy says no one can eat just one. And I'm not, this is not to laugh at the kids, but I'm saying, you guys remember the Lay's potato chips. I think that was a Lay's potato chip slogan. No one can eat just one. Well, hey, according to with this generation, no one can eat just one talkie. Okay? At least I don't know. I haven't had it, but the kids just can't eat just one talkie. Okay, let me walk it back here. Mindy Stone says, I just prep, pray, and stay out of the way. Yes, until it lands on my doorstep. Then me and God will handle it. Well, I'm in there with you. I realize says I have 6 brothers and I'm the only girl. I told them all what out my mom told me, but 4 out of 6 took the COVID vaccine 19 and are now feeling it but won't admit it. I truly think it was on a time release. Wow, now that's an interesting perspective. Realize. I'm wondering, I mean, you're on to something there. I was thinking about something like that. Even with our food, I mean, is it possible that there are time release elements? Are there key, we talked about yesterday when I was streaming, or it was Friday. We talked about Friday about how the study says that China making our medicine could be an issue, because they had the key the key starting materials. The United States only makes one of those ingredients, and then you have, of course, China and India that make 4 of them. So I'm just wondering if there are not ingredients in this food that actually causes that's time released, and it stays in your system long enough for you to get that. They call it a craving, but I'm not convinced that it's not something else, that it's not a chemical. Let's see. Rachel says, yes, I'm cutting a lot of food out. Very, very toxic. Rachel Van Ziel says, the oils alone cause inflammation. Shout out to you, Rachel Van Ziel, because I'm actually, I'm switching out to avocado oil, I guess, is what that's what I'm going to use. That's what I'm using. But definitely the other oils are, and I think avocado oil is actually allegedly supposed to be good for you. And then I think it's not maybe it has a nutty flavor, but it's not overwhelming. So, but you know what? The thing about it is to live healthier, you gotta spend more money, to get higher quality foods, or to get less of the junk, less of the toxins. You gotta spend more money to get it. Like I do, like country brown eggs. If you cook something, you can use country brown eggs. And I actually get them from somebody that, these are eggs that are, they've been raised and all this from, someone's own home. But then I remember her telling me, Miss Bobby at the farmer's market, she says, she said, these haven't been refrigerated. She said, you can keep these eggs can stay out for up to 6 months. But if you put it in the refrigerator, then I think she said the life cycle, it was less sustainable if you put those eggs in the refrigerator. But see, there again, the government sticking their noses into somebody else's, to one of the farmers market vendors, sticking their noses into their business. I mean, if we wanted eggs regulated from the government, then we'll just go to Walmart and buy some eggs. We won't buy them from the farmers market. So I'm just saying, but it's really, you have to map it out. And then there's also, I think there's a spring or something. I mean, I passed by it yesterday. I had to change my water supply. All preppers, stand up in the stream. If you're listening to this in replay, please let us know if you have any. I think maybe we should do some prepper streams as well. I have somebody that I want to bring on from another industry at some point. But he's not going to be in that vein. He'll be in another industry. But yeah, just the supply chain is more. Again, I think the supply chain is going to be also an issue that they're not talking about. I mean, Fed Chair Powell. I mean, who listens to that guy? I mean, he talks out of both sides of his mouth all the time. I mean, this economy, you just can't believe what's being reported. Especially by the end of the year. I'm thinking by the end of the year, the real economy will stand up. And then I think, oh my gosh, the masses will be in complete panic. Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was so bad. And I don't know. It's just, like I said, the spirit of deaf and dumb. It's got to be real. It's got to be real. It's got to be real. Right on, Freedom's March. That's why I'm just thinking, I don't know. I mean, is it competence or is it spirit of deaf and dumb? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. Then, like I said, I'll probably be back later. It's just that I'm just being kind of like, I'm being a little bit lazy right now. And I don't want to take my hair down. I don't want to do it. But I'll have a choice, but I was just not right now. I don't want to do it. But I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. So I'll keep an eye on these SNAP benefits, but I'm saying the vulnerability there, and the issue is much more complex, I think, when it comes to people that are, they're acting as the parent for many of these kids. They're actually providing a home, or, dare I call them the custodial parent. They're actually doing the parenting, and they actually need these benefits for the kids that they take care of. And so, I don't know, but we'll see. But there again, it could be they're injecting the fear in. But like I said, typically, I think when they roll out these food stamp anxieties, when they amplify with the food stamp shortage or the food stamp insufficient, funds, then usually to me, okay, we're coming to the end of this one. We're on the other side of the arc right now. So, all right, guys, I appreciate it. Let's see, Realize says, invasion of the body snatchers in real time. And Mindy Stone says, thank God that all this is only temporary. Yeah, hallelujah. You got that right. So I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. I don't know if it's anything to you. If you got a second, if you hit whatever that button is, if it still looks like a like button, if it looks like a thumb, hit that button. Because, this is, the masses, they don't want this out. They still don't. Okay. I'm not completely naive. But yeah, they're still doing their censorship levels. They are. Because here again, I'm not waving a red flag or a blue flag, or, I still get people coming in, what kind of channel is this? Okay, well, it's the one that you need to stick around long enough to find out. That's the kind that it is. Okay, that's what you need to do. So I don't know. Everybody wants everything given to them. They want to, that's what they want. That's what they need. Rachel Van Ziel says, much love to all. Prep, pray, stay out of the way. Y'all help us stand. Thank you so much for that, Rachel Van Ziel. And Realize, thank you so much for coming in. Derek C. Williams, let me give a round of a shout out here. Derek C. Williams, thank you so much for coming in. The prolific Derek C. Williams. Rachel Van Ziel, it's been a lifetime. It's good to see you. Mindy Stone, it's good to see you around here. Blessings to you. Blessings to all of you. Realize, thank you so much. And Freedom's March, of course. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And then Kimon 88. Thank you guys so much for coming in. It's nice to see some new, if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for coming in and supporting the channel. You know, it's still the small things. You know, I do what I do because, you know, I want to do it first and foremost. But, you know, so we'll play their game, you know, survive round 1, round 2. Round 2. All right, guys, I will see you possibly later. And you guys take care, and yeah, make sure you're getting some good nourishment, and try to move around wherever you can. If you're if you're gonna hit a trail, whether it's a golf trail, a hiking trail, you might want to have something, I don't know, because it's cool in the mornings around here. And then, of course, it's warmed up in the afternoon. So just make sure you have something to ward off whatever, if there's an element, an element that comes along. Yeah, or if you're going around a lake, you know, around here, like, was it the Cottonmouth? The Cottonmouth. I mean, yeah, I mean, I've seen Cottonmouth growing up, but no rattlesnakes here. But yeah, just make sure you have something for that extra, that low lying element that might creep along. Yeah, sometimes they can be aggressive. Sometimes they can be. All right, she said bears. There you go. So just have a little something extra if you're going by yourself. Yeah, or if you're on the golf cart, or I have a friend of mine, you know, her dad has cows and all this stuff, so she just jumps in the side by side, and she said she wished we had a couple of extra seats because she was, I don't know, country. All right, there's nothing wrong with it, as they say, but you know, make sure you're prepared for wherever you're going. She says Sasquatch. All right, guys, I will see you later. Bye for now.